They stand up and you guys are sitting down. One day you'll have my place and you'll be able to have the control. But I have to tell you that I think the situation was 10 times worse in the 60s and 70s than it is now. And I think a lot of people are really just trying to make it look like back in the 60s and 70s because they don't have any other model to compare it to. So they're trying to say, oh, today is the same as that. And look, all I can tell you is most of you were not alive as you older people in the 60s, and you don't know how bad it was. You don't have any idea. So all I can tell you is you're living in paradise by comparison. That's all I can tell you. I think you would agree that the times today are not even remotely similar to what we all went through in the 60s. Not doesn't make us heroic. It was so ugly and so bad, you just can't imagine. So that's all I can tell you. And the Vietnam War, let me tell you, was about 500 times worse than what we're seeing in Iraq in terms of the sacrifices and what was going on and so on and so forth. I would say, 5,000 times worse. And the casualties were proportionally that much more too. Yes.
Oh, and going beyond that, look at what happened in World War II, the number of casualties.
Oh, well, that's a different kind of war. I wasn't comparing. People think Vietnam and Iraq are an unjust war. I don't particularly agree in all cases with them. I was against the Vietnam War from the get-go. I thought it was a stupid war. I thought that you don't draw lines in the middle of jungles. You draw lines at the edge of oceans if you want to. And the whole thing was stupid. The domino theory was totally stupid. The sacrifice of American soldiers was totally stupid. And that was a totally misguided thing. But World War II is a different sort of thing that I honestly think is a patriotic war. And the casualties were huge, as you said. People can say that Iraq is not a patriotic war. That's an argument. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. You see, the minute you talk about conspiracies, everyone's antenna go up. That's why I disagree with Spike Lee. I think all the intimations he does there are not fair because he just makes phone calls sounding there's people, but he doesn't really focus in on anything that he can actually prove or even point to that actually he knows about. And he just makes people feel the way you're feeling, and others, oh, something really nasty went on here. And I'm not totally sure about that in the case of Malcolm X. There may have been, and I'm not saying there wasn't, but there may not have been. I'm getting back to Jimmy Baldwin. As far as James Baldwin was concerned, he would not have found Malcolm X a sympathetic person. That's all I'm saying. And he did find Elijah Muhammad a sympathetic person with all his flaws. We don't know what Malcolm X's flaws were. I was there at that time. I used to listen to Malcolm X speak, and I can tell you this. What he did in his hotel room with whoever he was talking to, he would have been a much tougher operator than Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm X was not a pussycat. And I don't know who he spoke to, who the people he was in contact with. He was one tough guy. Yeah. So, if he couldn't protect himself, I'm quite surprised, frankly. But anyway, that would go according to your theory. He had no chance.
I think he had no chance.
Okay, let's go on with Jimmy. James, as people ever used to call him Jimmy Baldwin, but we're calling him James. We don't want anyone to get angry on that. So when Elijah spoke, a chorus would arise, 65. Yes, that's right. And the white devil was part of this. The white man is the devil. Well, these are things that are calculated, if you like, to increase solidarity and so on. But, forget me. I may be a devil. I don't know. You can call me a devil, or the person next to you is a devil, et cetera, et cetera. We all do our best, but which may not be good enough in some people's eyes. But let's take Walt Whitman, okay? We've done Walt Whitman. He's long passed. I don't think anyone can call him a devil. And this is a very gentle, well-meaning man in all regards. who, as far as the poem we read, bathed and protected the runaway slaves in Ohio to the highest of his abilities. And even if he only imagined it, he encouraged others to do